Hi there. Welcome back to the 8th episode of Stone Storytelling with Rex. Um, Today we are going to be enjoying some mystery, shattery kind of business. If I can get it out of my little case here. I didn't quite catch what the strain was. It's got some good clarity. It's a little bit darker than I would normally like, but price is right, and like I said, it's clean. So we're gonna get a pretty little ribbon here. Here we go. So still using the same shitty old torch and the same shitty old dab rig here. Nail's just about toast, but can't really justify buying a new one right now. Ideally I'd like to get into, a nice domeless system with an e-nail. Got buddies that do the ones in the Pelicans. Check them out. I'll post a link to them at the end of the video here. If you're needing quality e-nails. But anyhow, anybody wants to send me some glass, anything I'm going to test and review while I do my stories, I'm happy to inspect it. Here we go. Okay. So here we go. Electric blue pubes. This goes way back. So when I was a young man, still living at home, I was really influenced by, the grunge music, I guess. It was the 90s were my childhood. So I started listening to Nirvana when I was, I think, 8. And by the time I was probably 12 or 13, I was really vocal about wanting to dye my hair various bright colors. And my parents were really resistant to it. Now, my mom was okay if I dyed my hair in context with a Halloween costume or a play. And she was also okay if I dyed my hair purple to go with a local lilac festival. But it had to be a washout. So there was that, and my dad was vehemently against it. He's a very, very conservative sort of fella. And to him that really represented, sort of the dark side. Which is really funny because when he was growing up, he wanted to have his hair long because he was a child of the 70s. And, my grandfather wouldn't allow it, and it was, this big deal, that he ended up having hair that was kind of covering his ears a little bit. And that was like, oh my God, this kid might turn out to be a drug addict. Now, that's the furthest thing from my father. But I digress. So it was a constant battle between particularly me and my dad, from 13 to about 17, as to, why can't I dye my hair blue? Why can't I dye my hair green? Why can't I dye my hair pink? What's the problem? I don't have a job. I'm a kid. And, the answers are all, the usual parent shit. So, not wanting to have my head shaved but wanting to still feel like I was, a rebel. I went out and I bought some peroxide hair bleach, and I bought some Manic Panic Electric Blue. And at this point, I think I was 14, maybe 15. It was freshman year. And I had, recently started growing pubes, and this is before the era of like manscaping. So, they were a little bit long. Not gonna lie. I mean, keep that shit trimmed down now. Couldn't dye it blue if I wanted to. But, they were long like hippie pubes. So I go and I bleach them out. And that was kind of a trip for me because I'd never, bleached any hair before. Certainly not my own pubic hair. So that was an interesting experience. I don't really recommend bleaching your pubic hair if you happen to have really, really blonde pubic hair and you want to fuck around with dyeing it. Okay. Otherwise, it's kind of unpleasant. Anyhow, bleached it successfully. Didn't make my hair fall out. Got all the peroxide washed out, shampooed it, conditioned it, made it look all nice. And then I grabbed my blue hair dye. And with, gloves on, obviously, I grabbed a couple handfuls of it and smeared it in, pulled it through the hairs, combed it through, really worked it in there. I think I might have even got my mom's hairdryer out, blow dried it, really tried to set it in, and let it hang out for a bit. And then when I washed it out, it wasn't quite, as rich color as I wanted. So I went back and I did this 2 or 3 or 4 more times. I don't know how many. But I went until I had beautiful, beautiful, bright electric blue. Oh, wow. If you could have seen, and boy, did a lot of people see. I wasn't like a super, super, super popular kid in high school, but I had a lot of friends that were kind of like the alternative, like hippie, sort of like weird rocker stoner kids. Now, I made it a point to tell everyone, like, what are you going to do? Like, you've got bright blue pubes. You've got to tell people. So, I come to school and people are like, hey, how you doing? Oh, I'm good. How you doing? Oh, how you doing? Hey, what did you do last night? Oh, I watched this show. Oh, I went to this movie. Oh, I made out with this girl. Oh, what did you do, Paul? What'd you do, Rex? And I go, I dyed my pubes blue. And they stop. What? They look at me and they, it's just total disbelief and kind of just stunned and, head shaking and all this. And I go, nah, no, you didn't. I go, yeah, I did. I totally did. And, at that point they demand to see, but they don't want to see, but they want to see, but they don't want to see because, So, you try to pull your shirt up a little bit and pull your shorts down just a little bit in the front so that you can just see a little bit there, and sure enough, this tuft of bright blue pubes comes poking out, and I gave him a tug to show that they were really on there, and oh my god, it was hilarious, the response, the reaction. I had a couple of friends that were really close friends, and to fuck with them, I would write notes, and I would pull out some of my bright blue pubes, and I would tape them onto the note, fold it up, pass it back. And so they'd get some, elaborate letter with like pictures and fancy text, and then, 5 or 6 bright blue pubic hairs just kind of chilling there, taped to the page, flapping in the breeze. It was a lot of fun until the blue started to fade to green because the peroxide, leaches the color out, and that began the process of trimming and cutting and few shaving mishaps, but those are all another story. Anyhow, thanks for tuning into this episode of Stone Storytelling with Rex, and be safe. We'll see you again. Bye-bye.